it comes to like your beginnings within the rap, and like I know you bring up the CDs and stuff. Obviously, back in like 2002, social media wasn't a thing. So what was it like as a whole? You know, I know you've kind of touched on a couple things, but like as a whole, just really like getting into making music and like really pushing your brand at the beginning. Like how expensive was it? You know what I'm saying? Like go in detail about the studio sessions and just
like real like detail. Like if I was gonna like kind of detail if I was gonna drop right now back then.
Yeah, like say you're to drop, get prepared for an album drop or something, or even a single video. Like what would that be?
Oh, there
like
wasn't no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I would have been able to afford a video back then, bro. You're talking, I don't even know, 30, 40 grand probably to shoot a video back then, bro. Because, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't even know where to go, where to start to shoot a video. But, what I would do is, I'll probably spend, I'll just give you a number, because I don't remember exactly, you know, how much everything cost back then, but I'd say I'd start with about 10,000 flyers, probably 2,000 posters. What I always order, like 5,000 CDs. First run would be 5,000 CDs. But back then, they were all store ready. So back then, you would have to get them shrink wrapped. You'd have to buy the barcode, you know, the whole nine. So you'd have to get them like that. And I think per 1,000 back there, don't quote me on this, but I think per 1,000 back then was like 5 grand maybe. Might have been about 5 grand per 1,000. They was over
1,000 CDs. Yeah,
maybe something like that. Maybe 3 grand, but it was, you know, they were some dollars per CD. And then, you know, so, you know, you'd probably be in just getting. Man, probably just getting your posters and and mastering back then, bro. Woo! Mastering would knock you over the head. So you'd have to send it to get mastered. There was nobody that was mastering. Yeah. So yeah, so you would send it to get mastered. It'd take 2-3 months to come back, and they would charge you a lot, bro. Like I think my first album I might have paid to get mastered was probably about 3 grand.
Yeah.
So 3 grand to master, 5 or so for the CDs. That's 8. The posters and the promo shit and the T-shirts, because we was doing T-shirts way back then.
Yeah.
Before I even had the ATAK stamp logo, we would just print the album cover on the T-shirt.
Real quick side note, I was at the gym one day and I seen someone with your shirt that had your logo on it.
Oh yeah?
The ATAK logo. And I was like, he sounds familiar. I think I recognize that somewhere. This was like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So yeah, and so like the ATAK stamp, when I got that logo, that's what I wanted it to be, was a stamp. Because if it had the stamp, it was the real one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that boo-boo. Yeah. It was the real one. So I made it the stamp. But yeah, it was, so we was about, what I say we was, so we was 3, 5, that was 8. Then the promo and T-shirts was probably, we'll say another 3 grand. So you was 11 bands in, and ain't no one even fucking heard your music, bro. Only people that knew that it was coming was the people in the hood that knew you was in the studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, you're 11 grand in. Plus, when I dropped my first one, I put Rappin' Fote on there, so paid for Rappin' Fote just to have a name on it. You know, because back in the days, everyone would look at the cover of your shit, be like, oh, it's featuring, and it was a big thing to put your features on the cover. Right. You know what I mean? So I just wanted a name on there, really. We did a couple songs with Rappin' Fote back then at the White House in the studio. And then I took one of them songs and I put it. So, you know, we was maybe a little more than 11 grand in. And then you had to get it out there.
Right.
And that's where I came into my vision of, do I want to push it to all these people that know I'm already rapping and try to prove to them that I'm actually doing this?
Right.
Or do I just want to go up out of here and just pull up like we started in Pueblo, stuff like that on the way out of town? Because we always went south. We didn't, I don't know what goes on in Wyoming, but I don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
So we went south towards Texas, you know, and New Mexico and all that, Arizona. So Pueblo was like the first stop. You know, oh, you're from Denver? Yep.
Yeah.
Check this out. And we was getting love. We went to La Junta. We went to Rocky Ford. We went to Pueblo, Colorado Springs. And I, mind you, bro, before this, I ain't never been to none of these places in Colorado, bro.
Yeah.
At all. And then we went to New Mexico and Santa Fe, you know what I mean? And that was my vision for it, bro. Like let's get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing this for?
Right.
You know, that's something
From
I
the
think,
jump.
yeah, I think that's something that everybody should ask themselves. Like, what am I doing this for? Because that's one thing I do see now is you see a lot of people that just want to, you know, they're just doing it just to look cool.
Right,
Like, they
right.
just want to, and I ain't like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't doing this to look cool. Like, when
There's
I
a lot
really,
of love and passion. in it.
yeah, like, I do this because I really do love it. Not only do I love it, I think if someone really takes the time and listens to a whole project from me, they're going to be like, damn, this dude really was talking. You know, you can tell it's just not some blind shit I'm just throwing at the wall. You know what I mean? Like I'm really talking about shit. You know, like, so, and it's always been like that. So people could say, like, Colorado don't have a sound.
Oh, I hate that shit.
I beg to differ, homie.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this same sound for 20 years, bro.
Right.
And everywhere I go, they're like, where are you from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you don't sound like
Yeah,
it.
and it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, where are you from? Denver? What? Where's Denver? You know what I mean? California? Like,
You got cows out there and shit.
yeah, you know, and then we'd have to tell, yeah, they think it's where going. Oh, the Broncos, John Elway, yeah, that Denver. Well, what other Denver did you think I was from? You know, but so I think Denver does have a sound.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, for
What-
sure.
What is the sound like to you, if you could describe it?
I consider Denver the Midwest, bro. I really
Yeah.
don't know what it is on the map.
Right.
But to me, I consider it the Midwest. It's not the coast.
Right. We're too far. From
Yeah,
the beach.
it's not the Southwest. It's too fucking cold. I mean,
Yeah.
this ain't the Southwest is Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the South fucking West. Like, when I look on the map, I know when I drive up out of this bitch, I take I-70 east, and I go straight, I think, but I go through all these fucking cities that are considered the Midwest, and I didn't go nowhere south or nowhere fucking north. I went straight across the country, and these are all considered the Midwest. So
Right.
I think we're the Midwest. I don't
Yeah.
think we're the Southwest. I think we're the Midwest.
Right.
So I think it's a Midwest sound. I hear a lot of new artists that have kind of like a Detroit, and I can't even say a Detroit flow, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
more
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
production, you know,
Yeah,
because
the beats
that
and stuff.
Detroit music be fast, bro.
Right.
You know, fast tempos.
Upbeat.
You know what I mean? And so I don't think so, bro. Like, I really think all the time, dude, when I do something, I say, you know, when I listen to old Outkast, East Point, or I'm driving down Old Nat, or I'm going to the Greenbrier Mall, you know, I listen to old Outkast, and when I look out the window, I can kind of feel what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I look out the window and I'll be like, yeah, that's the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm on Headland in Delow, I look and I'm like, I can see where this came from, bro. Like, I can feel where that came from. when I go to New York, and I've been in New York a lot, I go into New York and I go into different boroughs, you can feel where that came from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people in Brooklyn are different than people in Harlem. You know, they'll tell you that too. The Bronx is different. You know what I'm saying? So, when I go to Chicago, being from Chicago, like, it was no surprise to me that drill music is, you know, they come say, you know, is from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Back when I lived in Chicago, foods was about that business. Chicago's been about that business. You know, anyone from Chicago talks like me. That's how most people think I'm from Chicago. We're loud. You know what I mean? Like, we just get, you know, we get turned real quick. You know what I mean? And then, so back to my point, that's how I make my music, bro. When you look at my, that's why when, like, all my videos, every one of my videos is shot where I lived, not actually my house, but right in my neighborhood. And I like to, when I tell them to catch B-roll, I'll tell them, like, hey, bro, catch that bottle on the ground right there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm seeing it, too, in the background. I'm like, that shit hard.
Yeah, you know, like, so, like, that's what I try to catch, bro. So, I feel like that's how I want to make my sound. When motherfucker drives down Federal Boulevard, and if ATAK song is playing, they can listen to that shit and be like, damn.
This is what he's talking about.
This feels like it's from here. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where my producers is from.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I like, honestly, my dream is to work with DJ Premier. You know what I mean? So, if that could happen, I'll be happy as hell. Yeah. You know, but I'm not going to get a beat from, like, say I work with Shorty Fresh. I ain't going to get Shorty Fresh beat and then try to sound like I'm you know, from Atlanta, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. And I've been doing that, and I've stuck with that for a long time. And I've always been one to speak out on that, too. You know what I mean? Like if someone comes to me with something, I'm going to give it, like I said, the Frisbee test. But if I put it in and you sound exactly like this dude is sounding, right, I probably ain't going to listen to nothing else you ever try to get me, bro. Just to be honest. You know, just because if I wanted to listen to Lil Durk, King Von, I'd have put Lil Durk, King Von on. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to listen to 2 Chainz, I'd have put 2 Chainz on. If I wanted to hear YG or what are them little young dudes over there in the West Coast, the Mafia dudes, Short Mafia.
Oh, Shoreline Mafia.
Yeah, the Shoreline Mafia. I listened to them. If I wanted to hear someone from Detroit, I listened to them. Doesn't mean you can't get a fast tempo beat with a sample like Detroit uses. Yeah. You know what I mean? And represent and put it down how you flow. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wanted to sound like Lil Wayne. Oh, yeah. Thanks. You know, like, thanks. So, you know, I think everyone gets influenced, but you got to be more creative and, like, you know, look in the mirror or drive around your neighborhood. You know, if you're from Colorado, you ain't seen a bando for 20 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Price of goddamn real estate, they done gentrified the whole state. You can't, I mean, you got to drive way the hell out in the middle of a cornfield down there to see an abandoned crib now. Right.
And even if it is out here in Denver, it's still going to be, you know,
the only reason, only reason why that's abandoned right now is because they're trying to buy up the whole block. Right, yeah. Give it a year and there's going to be an apartment complex on that block. Right. You know what I mean? So, ain't nobody trapping in that motherfucker.